that guy in that old shirt? Who must be the fence expert? Who's that guy in that old shirt? Who must be the fence expert? It's almost time to talk about the fences. It's time to discuss operations and expenses. It's really time to elevate small businesses. It's time for Joe to drop his knowledge. It's relentless. This rhyme of mine is getting a bit ridiculous. So here we go. We're live with Joe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, Fence fam? Welcome back to another live interview, live from the West Coast Fence Show here in Reno, Nevada, with the one and the only Ben with Hearth. Ben, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good. Guys, if you have been at any fence show, you are familiar with Ben, likely.
I don't know if it's a great thing.
Well, for better or worse, familiar.
Yeah, for better or worse. Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
Heck, I mean, you've been tattooing people like all show this show.
I got you.
Yeah, you did too.
Did you shower last night?
I did. It's gone.
Gone?
Yeah,
we got more.
It's okay. It's okay.
more.
I got to travel home tomorrow. So with world okayest fencer on my neck. Yeah.
You don't get patted down by
well,
TSA.
Explain that to my kids as I get home. They're like, Dad, what's that on your neck? Like, listen, kids, it's a fake tattoo. Don't get tattoos. Anyway. If you're in the fencing industry, you're likely familiar with Ben, or at least familiar with Hearth. Let's give a 30,000-foot view of Hearth in general. What is Hearth and what do they do?
Yeah, so Hearth is consumer financing. So if we make things more affordable for homeowners.
Yeah.
That's a 30,000-foot view.
Absolutely.
We'll dive in much further, I'm sure.
Sure,
From
sure.
here. But as you and I both know, like, fences are more expensive now than they
100%.
were 3
Yep.
years ago, 5 years ago. Last time I
Yep.
bought a fence was, I think, like 10 or 12 years ago. Probably. Oh, shit.
It's a bit higher
14
now.
years ago.
Yeah, a
Now
bit
that I
higher
just thought
now.
about it. I spent like $1,500 on like a few panels.
Yeah.
Like getting installed. And
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone watching this is going to go do a job even for $1,500.
Yeah.
Like they're not picking up the phone for that.
Right.
So it's much more expensive. I don't think homeowners know how expensive fences are anymore.
Yeah.
Material.
Well, yeah. Well, because Google doesn't. I mean,
No.
that's where they're going
Yeah,
for
right.
information.
Yeah.
Is they're Googling it and they're seeing some article from maybe 5 years ago saying how much fences cost, and then they get a little bit of sticker shock when the proposal comes in.
Yeah.
So one of the ways we bridge that gap is by using financing. And one example is, so we were doing a fence for a gentleman. He was in the middle of remodeling his house and making it really nice. And it was a large fence, 600 and some odd foot. It was a lot of 6 foot privacy, pre-stained cedar steel posts. He went Cadillac with this. And he did it through financing. So I don't want to speak for this gentleman, but my inclination is he wouldn't have done it without financing, right? If he had to come up with half the money down,
No.
half the money when we're done, we would likely not be the contractor on that project.
I think that homeowners fall into, we could assume a lot of things about homeowners.
Sure.
Homeowners typically fall into several different buckets. Hey, they've got the money, and they're going to go with the project no matter what.
Yeah.
They don't have the money, and they need financing in order to go into it. There's like this third bucket too, where like they have the money, but they like to use someone else's money.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then there's even like this fourth bucket, which is like, you probably have these customers too. I think we talked about this earlier. Was they had the money for something.
Yeah.
They've watched a lot of
Yeah.
HGTV. They got Pinterest boards. Dude, I'm getting this awesome fence. It's going to look like this. Hey, it's $30,000 to do this. I had a
Yeah.
budget of $15,000.
Bingo. That's it.
And now you can sell, hey, with financing for only like, 25, 30, 50 bucks more a month. Hey, they can get actually what they want
Yep.
versus what they can afford today.
Absolutely.
And like when it's small monthly payments like that, it makes it a lot easier for the homeowner to buy from you.
Yeah.
It also makes you as a company like a lot more competitive and able to close those deals. 'Cause
Absolutely.
the guys come behind them, like the second and third quote they're getting, those
Yeah.
guys aren't offering it.
No, especially this gentleman. Like I said, my inclination is if we had said half down, balance of completion, we just wouldn't have been an option.
Yeah.
Even if he had liked us a lot, even if our proposal was the best, even if we checked all the boxes, if he couldn't afford us, he can't afford
Yeah.
us, and that's just it. So by offering financing, it was terms he was comfortable with and a length of time he was comfortable with. It made all the difference. Now, his plan was, I think he took out a 60-month loan. His plan is, I'm going to pay this off in 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Based on the payments, I can double up and I can do this and do that. But his thinking was, if something in my life pops up,
Yep.
I know I've got a runway here to where if the hot water heater goes out or if whatever happens around the house happens,
Yep.
he's got some runway as
Yep.
well.
I think like a lot of people, especially like in this environment right now, it's not 2020 anymore.
Sure.
Where like we're not receiving checks from the government every couple of weeks, and like people aren't like flush with cash. People are
Yeah.
holding on to their money a lot right now.
Yeah.
People have a lot less in savings right now.
Yes.
Like people have as much in savings right now as they did in 2007, 2008. Something happened during that time
Yeah,
period. I was
yeah.
younger then.
A little scary,
but,
scary.
There's some similarities there. I'm not like ringing the economic like bell or anything, but
But
like
it's something to think about.
but consumer household income and their spending habits are very similar to what we've seen in different stages of the past.
Yeah.
So people don't have that additional money right now, and then they do have it. Boy, like you said, water heater goes out. Those aren't $800 anymore either.
No,
I saw
no,
a quote from
absolutely
one,
not.
and
It's not $800.
No.
Absolutely not.
It's about the tankless one I want to get.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Yeah,
I want to get it.
it's
but
up there.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta work a lot harder.
If
I gotta
only
work
you
more
knew
weekends.
someone that offered like a financing solution
Right.
to get you into that water
I know.
heater.
I
But-
just bought a house though, so like
Yeah.
I'm a little trick right now.
Yep.
Um,
But the point being, it opens you up to clients that likely wouldn't have been an option.
Right.
But to your point, and I was going to bring, I'm glad you brought it up. So I was listening to a podcast on the flight here talking about the individual savings rates being, or the individual savings accounts being the lowest they've been in a decade.
Yeah.
So which speaks to 07, 08, which granted it's 2024, so I could do some math, but in more than a decade.
Yeah.
But that's the point is they don't have $15,000-$20,000 in a savings account to say, hey, because here's what happens. 3 things keep a fence company in business. It's kids, it's pets, and it's neighbors. Usually bad neighbors. They just move into a house, or they've been in a house, or maybe they have a new addition to the family, whether it's a little one or a puppy. Puppies are big in Easter time, so we definitely run that advertisement. If you just got a 4-legged friend, then we'd love to fence them in.
Ozark should start doing like a pet adoption, like every quarter. You guys just start.
That's pretty good.
And like,
with
I don't know
your
what to do
puppy-
with the children. I don't know what you want to do with that.
Well,
but
yeah, the adoption run for that's going to be a little different.
that's a longer runway too. Like you're playing a long game with that. In 3 years, you're going to need this.
Right. Yeah, not right now.
We got
but
you 10% off at Holiday Inn.
I'm gonna set a follow-up sequence for 36 months from now, and I'm gonna start just see if you need a fence.
Yeah.
Just check in.
Every 9 months after Valentine's Day.
Not a bad idea.
Like,
Not a bad idea. Yeah. So one of the things we do, which is funny, is we sponsor there's what do they call these? They're like dog day outs sort of thing, like downtown in the square in the fountain right before they shut the fountain. So they're doing this one next month. Right before they shut the fountain off, they do a dog day at the park where you can bring your dogs, play in the fountain, do all that. Sponsored by Ozark Fence. Absolutely. But so people get into these, whether it's a little one or a pet or whatever, or they have a new neighbor move in, they're not necessarily saving for that, right? And especially if savings are at an all-time low, they need it, but they don't have the funding for it. So they need some sort of way to get to their goal without having the money today.
I'm so glad you said that. I try to bring this up all the time. If anyone that's ever heard me like talk before at one of these conferences or anything, or I'm redoing a farmhouse right now.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people like probably watching this, and you know people. I'm sure you've like done stuff at your house before.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you make your list of stuff you want to do at your house.
Yeah.
Like my wife wants to do the kitchen and bath. Like,
Yep,
we want to do that.
of course.
I want to we have these 100-year-old hardwood floors. We want to get those sanded and sealed, like brand new. Like get them. Fencing's not on the top 10.
Not
like,
top
that's
10?
not the sexy thing.
It might
that wants
not
to
even be top 50.
It might not be. Like there's trips to Walt Disney World that are above that. There's a new car that's above that. Like
maybe some dental work you really ought to get done. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff before fencing.
Yeah.
Where people like if I'm saving money as a homeowner, or just as a human, we might geek out about fences.
Sure.
But the average person out there, if it's standing and it looks good,
Yeah,
and it
it's
provides my
fine.
property some value, cool.
Yeah,
If
no
it's
one's-
safe, awesome.
Absolutely. No one's walking through a house going, you know what this house needs? A brand new fence.
Yeah.
That would just set this house off. We ought to do that. Honey.
There's not a lot of HGTV shows where like
revolved
flip
around
this
fencing.
fence.
Right. Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Right. Every one of those shows, fencing isn't there. Sometimes maybe, but most of the ones I've seen, not
That's
in
not
there.
something they're focusing on?
Not in there, no.
No.
So that's the thing is they're not focused on it. They're not saving towards it or anything. Or a neighbor gets a dog. Maybe it's a young couple, no kids, no pets, don't need a fence. Well, now the neighbor's got a pet. And so usually what we say is we'll keep your kids in or the neighbor kids out. We'll keep your pets in or we'll keep the neighbor pets out. So, that's kind of a real thing, especially with kids now is in our local community, there was a story about a year ago. Unfortunately, a dog had gotten at a kid. Nothing tragic happened, but it was a scary story. And that brought home the point of just because, your kid knows how to stay in the yard doesn't mean the dog, 2 blocks over knows how to stay in their yard, sort of thing. Is safety and security is the name of the game. So a lot of times, something like that will come up, and the community now understands the priority of having a safe backyard. But to your point earlier, they don't have the savings to get there.
Right.
So if you can be the contractor to say, so what we've started doing is on our proposals, it'll say the dollar amount and right under the estimated monthly payments. Now, estimated monthly payments, there's the asterisk there that says it depends on credit.
On this and this,
Yeah. But at least give them an idea.
Yep.
So say, hey, man, I don't have that money, but wait, $75 a month? We could probably do that. And usually what we'll do is we'll shoot them for, and it's probably, this is what I do, and it doesn't necessarily mean this is the best way, but we'll shoot for, if we've got 3 different term lengths, we'll shoot for the middle one.
Good.
And tell them, so hey, if you'd like to see this number higher or lower, we can shoot for a shorter duration. We'll likely make the monthly payment go up. Or if you want to look at a longer duration, it can bring that payment down. You can prepay, you can do all this if you feel like it. And that usually at least starts the conversation.
Yep.
Now, some people get absolutely insulted when you offer financing, but that happens maybe twice a year. Whereas, well, why did you offer financing? Why do you think I need it? And usually the response is, well, we don't judge anyone when we drive up the driveway. It's a solution that's been chosen by our clients quite a few times this year and in years past. We want to offer it as a solution. It's not required by any means, but we just wanted to let you know it was available.
Yeah. Can we break down, like, I don't want to shift too much here, but
I
of
course.
want to pile on this.
Yeah.
Kind of the steps of offering financing to your customers.
Okay. Yeah,
From
absolutely.
like very beginning, like top of the funnel,
Yeah.
all the way down to the sale.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
top of the funnel stuff is, in the fence world, is marketing.
Yeah.
Like, how do I get people through the door?
Yep.
Let's think about people that, like, how does financing actually drive you more leads, high quality leads, more intentional buyers?
Sure.
As opposed to like tire kickers.
Yeah.
If I know a fence costs $15,000 and I know I can't afford $15,000 out of pocket, I'm going to Google
Yep.
and say, fence companies near me. I'm not calling the guy who doesn't have financing available.
Right.
If I know I need financing, I'm going to call the person that offers financing on their website, on social media, and I can easily apply maybe right there, or they talk about like in service. So I'm going to attract more of those kind of customers. People that aren't necessarily price shopping anymore because they have their budget shopping as opposed to price shopping.
Right.
People work within a monthly budget, not within like an overall scope of work, right?
Yeah.
So that's like your top of the funnel. Also, you talk to like some guys like Benji at Clever Fox or anyone else, like they'll all your marketers out will say like, hey, you should put financing like on your Google My Business because it actually like boosts your rating, you drive more people, it's something you can highlight there, you can attract more eyes that way.
Yeah.
So you can attract a lot more people that way. In terms of like offering to homeowners, like between like Margot and I over here, in the past like 5 years, we probably trained on site and virtually between us two probably 5,000 companies.
Oh wow.
Like how to implement financing, how to actually make money doing it, not just have it like on your website or like have it available for you. Where a lot of people fall back on, and we encourage you like you do, like have on every proposal, you offer to every single customer. Why is that? And salespeople are the people that really need to get bought in. A company owner can be bought in from day one.
Yeah.
You understand it, but it's your salespeople. They're the people actually out there with the homeowners.
Yeah.
The pushback people get a lot of time is, well, I don't want to offend the homeowner. I don't make that. Like, I don't make that assumption, right?
Because it happens once in a while.
It's gonna happen. I think about it like this. I think it's a mind shift that salespeople and project managers need to have is you're not offering. I don't think about it even offering financing or selling financing. That's not the end goal. The end goal is for the homeowner to purchase your goods and services from you.
Yep.
Financing is simply a way, an easy way for them to pay you.
Sure.
So if I'm talking to a homeowner, I used to be a contractor, I used to be a sales guy too.
Okay.
One of the first things I would tell people, and I steal these tips from 5,000 customers I get trained and see the best people do it.
Yeah.
Some of the best people out there, they don't lead with, hey, it costs $15,000 or like we have financing available. They don't use those words. They say something like, hey, I'm going to walk around your perimeter here. We'll measure everything. We'll get you a really accurate estimate right now. I'll hand it to you by the time we leave. FYI, we accept cash, check, credit card, or affordable monthly payments.
There you go.
Which bucket do you fall into here?
Yep.
And they're going to say, because as a good salesperson, you want to know how your customers going to pay for it, right?
Sure, of
Before
course.
Before
you get too far down the road. Yep.
Before I spend hours doing it. And someone says, well, I got cash for it. Cool. I don't even talk about monthly payments anymore.
Yep.
They're going to tell you your budget. Or it's, oh, you got monthly payments. Now they tell me that. The rest of the conversation, I'm not talking $10,000. I'm not talking $12,000, $18,000. I'm talking $220 a month, $250 a month.
Interesting.
So when I go to my presentation, my good, better, best, that a lot of people use.
Yep.
I'm not highlighting those big numbers.
Interesting.
I already know they're offering. They want financing.
They're interested in it.
They care about that monthly payment.
Okay.
They don't care, and most people don't even care about the interest rate. Most people don't care about term length. They care
Sure.
about,
Yeah.
can
that
I
monthly
fit
payment.
within my monthly budget?
Yeah.
Because, like it or not, Americans work within a monthly budget. Everything we do,
Sure.
the TV we watch,
Yeah.
the podcasts we listen to,
Yep.
everything
Yep.
we do is
Yep.
around a monthly budget.
Well, it's all subscription. And so
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
used to a monthly number.
Yep.
And you know what you're comfortable with. So that's interesting. And I think it's true in the when you say they're not really interested in the terms, not interested in the rate or the terms.
Some people are.
To a point.
Some people are going to be.
Sure. I'm thinking back to the financing we've offered this year. I can think of one. There might be another where someone said, "Well, do you have any other options available?"
Mm-hmm.
One, and we went and looked into some options, and we talked about prices and all that. But out of, I can't tell you how many offers went out this year, one of them said, "Hey, could we actually renegotiate whatever the terms are?"
Yep.
It's not something that happens a lot. Yeah, and this is a consumer buying habit that's already ingrained, right, in terms of talking about monthly payments. So when I was thinking about this the other day, we're cruising through Bass Pro, all of their boats, monthly payments.
Everything.
They don't tell you this is a $32,000 boat. They tell you this boat is whatever it is, 123 or whatever it is a month.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Like now I'm sure if I went and cornered some sales guy, he'll tell me how much it cost, but everything on the face value is in monthly payments.
It's how we buy everything.
Yeah.
I tell this story sometimes where last summer I went and bought for my kids, got them all these colored books they wanted.
Okay.
I went on like Amazon or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what site it was. It was like $60. But at checkout, it said, "Would you like to make
Yeah.
6 payments of $12 or something?" Like it was $60. I was like, I got this. I got it, Joe. I can.
Don't
I can
even
handle
need
this
financing
one.
on this one.
But they're offering it not because it's like fun to do.
Right.
It's because a lot of people
Yeah.
buy like that.
Of course. Of
And
course.
like that's just how we operate as Americans,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally every car, every boat,
Yep.
our houses,
House.
our education,
Yeah.
everything we buy is through a monthly payment.
Absolutely.
That's how like consumers think about it. So
Sure.
if you can like advertise, "Hey, get your new fence done for as low as $220 a month," that draws some eyes. That
Right.
makes more sense to me than get your fence done for $12,000.
Right. Right.
No,
Well,
I'm not calling you.
Yeah, you disassociate with that
Yeah.
at that point. Well, that's out of my ballpark.
Yeah.
Not knowing what kind of fence we're talking about, not knowing what kind of service we're talking about.
Exactly.
If you start there and they disassociate themselves there, you're done.
Yep.
The conversation's over. So I like the idea of putting like financing available on trucks, on the websites, just letting them know, hey, it is an option. One thing I've thought about playing with, so we're big on QR codes now.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing I'm thinking about is, financing available with a QR code underneath it that leads to some sort of information gathering.
Yeah.
Right, to say, hey, for more information, scan here, something like that. I think I'd be interested to see, I bet that QR code would get quite a lot of scans.
I bet I get a lot of clicks. And
Yeah.
what you should do when you do that, we'll talk a little bit more about marketing here.
Yeah, of course.
Not to steal any marketing guy's thunder here in Reno or anything. But if I'm
was
creating
great.
that is a page I'm lending back to, not like Hearth or any other third party.
Yeah.
I'm creating that page on my website,
Yeah.
Ozark's website.
Yep.
It should have that page because
Yeah.
every time a homeowner clicks on that, it boosts you up on Google then you have like a lead capture form there as well.
That's
that
true.
way if like they stumble upon it, hey, if they're looking for that, like you want to
Yeah.
always lead back to you, not to someone else.
No, that's true.
But I have that like on sales materials, on pamphlets, and different
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, financing available with a QR code.
Yep.
And then it leads to information gathered. That's really interesting. And that's probably something we'd want to run. It might vary state by state on what information you can gather maybe. So do some research. Don't just take our word for it. But that would be interesting. Name, address, annual income or something like that. Have them submit that as an information request. And then run them through. Yeah.
But,
What do you call
you
it?
couldn't run them through the application process
No,
until they
but-
actually agree to that. But what you can do is, here's what a lot of people do is they have like you probably have like a lead capture form like on your
Yeah.
front page of your website.
Yeah.
If you're interested, it's 2 a.m. You're not gonna call me.
Sure.
You're gonna submit this page.
Yeah.
And then have a separate lead capture form just for that financing page,
Yeah.
where like you don't even need to gather information yet because you don't care if they finance it.
Yeah.
But now if they submit that form on that page,
They're interested
they're
in
interested in
financing.
financing, right?
Yeah, so you tick that box in your CRM
Yep.
that says, or you tag it with financing. And so then, when the salesperson's talking with them, they're talking to them in terms of monthly payments rather than whole sum.
Yep.
Interesting. So let's talk about real quick, what's the term, and we've been doing this all day and I've been looking at a light, so my brain's a bit fried.
You want to switch seats?
No, it's
You
okay,
good?
it's okay. But what is the step
Your skin looks nice.
before, I'm getting a nice tan. I'm getting a nice tan. What's the step before like the credit application? There's like a soft,
Yeah, soft pull.
yeah, but we used to have it on our website.
Yep.
It was just a pre-qualification.
Yep.
One thing we ran into was a lot of people use that didn't qualify.
Yep.
And so we started getting some feedback from the financer saying, hey, you're getting a lot of just unqualified people use this pre-qualification tool. We ended up taking it down. Do you see that on your end, where is that a thing where maybe it's better to have a lead generation than a pre-qualification link?
So I think the pre-qualification link, I see it used, and I see people have some success with it. My opinion, I don't need them pre-qualified right then, because basically any finance company that you're going to use, whether it's Hearth or someone else, I can get you pre-qualified in 30 seconds with a soft pull on your credit, sitting right here while I'm giving you your estimate.
Okay.
Like, I don't need a head
It's
start
not a
on
lengthy
that.
process.
And also, your homeowner, they have no idea how much money to request.
Right.
So they're going to ask for $5,000, and you're going to go, well, the fence costs $15,000.
Bad
You might
news.
like bad news. Like, we still have another conversation still.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather just capture their personal information.
Yeah.
And then set the appointment with them. This is like my salesman still in me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need your pre-qualification before I go to your house.
Yeah. Go through the process first.
I need to
and
get
then
you an
cross that
actual
bridge.
estimate first.
That
and
makes
then
sense.
we start having that conversation later.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So
People are going to get denied. And
Well-
like, there's no question about it. Like, But-
there's probably different ways work for different people.
Yep.
It probably depends on how you present it and this and that. But it sounds like a lead generation tool might be a little bit more helpful, at least to the sales process, than the pre-qualification tool.
I mean, think about it like this too. If a homeowner goes to your website and they have a pre-qualification form, and they get denied, and it says, "Hey, we don't have any options for you." Do you have any shot at selling that customer anymore?
Nope.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Doesn't matter, right? But
That's a great point.
what if they typed in, your application requires month or annual income, and they typed in monthly income,
Sure.
or they need a co-signer.
I was going to say
and
they
it
have a
doesn't
co-applicant or
like,
something.
You could miss out on homeowners that are probably could be qualified and help them walk them through that process a little bit more.
Yep. We would see that. So we would get the email notification that a pre-qualification was denied or anything like that. But we'd look at the name and it'd be someone we had never heard of. Right? We had never talked to them about a fence. They had never reached out to us for a fence. There was a lot of that. So to your point, you got to wonder how many of those were actually customers that had made a mistake that could have gotten financing in the future, or we talked to them about here's the fence and maybe they got financing.
Yep.
That happens occasionally where someone will want to use their credit union or they'll want to use their, which is fine. How many of those that we absolutely just lost right off the bat could have been customers?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's one, it's too many. Right? If you miss out on one sale because of anything, it's probably too many.
Yeah. I mean, how much does it cost to get a lead?
Yeah.
Like, you know some of your numbers or anything, but like, it's expensive.
It's
to even,
expensive.
like, it's expensive. So if I'm losing one or two of those a month, a week, a day,
That's fair.
like, I want to capitalize on everything. That's not saying that everybody that applies.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get some Russian hacker that's going to do it too, because they found a form online. They're going to submit a couple applications. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I can't solve that.
Right.
I don't think any of us can.
Sure.
But if you have a homeowner, that submits something online, they go, well, Ben's fence, there's no reason for me to call them. And when they call me, I have no reason to talk to them because I already know I can't afford it. I already know that I got denied from it.
Yeah.
There might be something else going on. Like, you're just missing on the lead itself. That's a free lead.
Right.
Or it's a very costly lead.
I was going to say, it's a lead you paid for.
It could be a lead that you paid for. It might be organic. It might be from Google. It might be from Facebook. Like, it might have cost you a couple $100 to even get them to even fill out that form.
Yep.
And then you never talk to them again.
And then you never see them again.
So if you want that cost of customer acquisition to go down, the way I think about it, if I'm thinking about my margins, Where's Tony at? Where's Tony floating? He would love. He'd steal this and talk about margins for 30 minutes.
Right.
If I think about my margins, like what's a great way for me to save money and expand my revenue at the same time, it is making sure each lead that I generate gets pre-qualified, gets qualified, and gets like robustly worked.
Sure.
And if I'm missing out on any one of those steps, I'm wasting money.
Yeah.
And I devalue my company, I devalue my time.
It's a leaky bucket.
Yeah.
Right. You got to plug all the leaks in your bucket if you want to keep the water. If you want to keep, and I think I'm stealing this directly from Tony. So Tony, I apologize, but the leaks out of your buckets are dollars.
Yep.
Right. So the more leaks you can plug, the more dollars stay in your bucket. And this is a great tie-in with this conversation to where if you are losing customers by not offering financing or by not offering financing optimally, right? So how many dollars is your business losing by not at least offering that?
Yep.
So
you want some numbers?
Sure,
I can
absolutely.
tell you some sexy old numbers here.
Buckle
Let me
up.
put my low voice on here real fast.
Okay.
Basically, these aren't Ben's numbers. These are basically numbers that across the financing industry,
Okay.
we all share the same numbers. Salespeople that offer financing to every single homeowner, every single time, typically sell between 18 and 25% more jobs than the guys that don't.
Yeah.
Not
I believe
because 18 or 25% of people are financing it. Some of them are.
Sure.
Or a lot of them are. A lot of people, hey, now my company looks more legitimate.
Yep.
I have a better presentation. I'm more, I'm easier to buy from. I'm a convenient person to buy from.
Sure. And you're giving them options to choose from.
You're giving options. On top of that, homeowners that buy things with monthly payments typically spend up to 30% more versus what they pay for out of pocket. And I think like I went to Best Buy last year when we moved. I got like a new TV, not the one I wanted because my wife wouldn't let me get that big one. Different story.
Yeah.
But I went in there for a TV. I got 0% credit card from Best Buy.
Yeah.
I walked out with a TV, like a Roku bar, like a sound bar, this cool remote, these other additional speakers. I went in there to spend like $800 and
on
I
a
came
TV.
out on a TV.
Yeah.
I was still in trouble when I got home. But,
Sure.
I went there to spend like $800, but I walked out with like $1,600 worth of stuff.
Right.
And that's the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a salesperson and you're watching this and your company doesn't offer financing, I will go to the owner of that company and say, dude, I can sell more product. I can sell it more efficiently.
Yep.
I can sell it for a higher price point.
Bingo.
If I start offering financing, please get me financing.
And it'll likely help my upsells.
It'll help. Oh, God.
Like that's so, and we're probably not revealing anything secret,
No.
but so typically when we're given a credit approval, it'll say that they're approved up to X amount.
Yep.
So, and I'm going to use random numbers, but say the fence is going to be $15,000 and they're approved up to $20,000. What are the chances I'm going to talk to them about pre-staining that fence, or I'm going to talk to them about, hey, it would just be, we're looking at the upgrade cost of X, which would represent another $2 a month or $3 a month. And by the way, you're already approved for this amount. We don't have to redo the process. Was that something you'd be interested in talking about?
Yeah.
Usually it's yes.
Yep.
It's like, oh, we could wrap that into this? Absolutely. You don't have to do any more paperwork.
Oh, and it's only like $14 more a month.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes, do that.
Sure.
Get it done the way we want it done.
Well, and especially if we're talking about staining and pre-staining, we say, we recommend you do this anyway. So you could do this yourself down the road, but it would come completely out of your pocket. You could hire a contractor. If I'm being honest, most of the staining contractors in our area don't offer financing. So if you'd like to roll this into financing, this is your best option right now to get that done.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're already pre-approved for it, it's going to be, to your point, $14 a month. There's no additional pain to them. 9 times out of 10, we're pre-staining that fence.
Yeah.
So it also leads to higher upsells.
Yeah.
So, what was I going to say? So, the salesman that's watching, that's talking to their owner, maybe their owner says, are you kidding me? We can't afford to offer financing. Have you heard how expensive financing is? Because they're thinking about financing 8 years ago or 10 years ago when they looked into it. Now, this is obviously going to vary by company, and all situations are different. In my experience, there are some pretty low cost, there's a few no cost, depending on the stipulations, options to offer customers out there. Is that right?
Yep. If someone says it's too expensive for me to start offering financing, I can point to several fencers in here that I know personally have sold $200,000 worth of jobs just through financing this.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't cost that much, man.
Right.
There are certain like programs like you can get on.
Sure.
And not to talk about just like Hearth, but like just, financing industry in general. Like, there are some very expensive ones that could cost, like they might have dealer fees of like 15-20%.
Sure.
Like, I like using those as like promotional material, like promotional periods, not like I'm going to go with this every single time.
This is our go-to plan.
Like, this is my Thanksgiving special.
Yep.
Team slow. I'll bite the bullet a little bit.
Yep.
We'll do a 24-month no or something like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be very expensive, but we'll keep guys busy during the winter time or during slow times.
Yeah, because we would have, instead of that, we would have offered a discount.
Yeah.
So you hear about guys doing that and say, hey, instead of offering a 10% discount, I'm going to try to find something that has 10% dealer fees or maybe 12%, and we'll still get a little bit more aggressive with it, that sort of thing.
My favorite thing in the world, I'm glad you brought up discounts. I think about this because when I talk to business owners, I talk to general managers, even salespeople sometimes. A lot of people fall back on discounts, right?
Yeah.
They're like, man, I just need to get a sale. Like, Joe, can I offer these guys 10% off, 15% off? Like, I think I can get it closed. Like, I hate giving discounts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it is the worst thing in the world. I would much rather, like, if I'm giving something away, I'd much rather it be in exchange for something that you have to buy.
Yeah.
So instead of giving a 10% discount, I would much rather, let's say you use, like one of the more traditional lenders that, they have like maybe it's a 10%, fixed rate, 0% for 18 months. It's going to cost me 10% of the job.
Sure.
And I don't know if I'm should be talking about like other financing companies, but like I'm holistic here.
It's theoretical.
I understand that like. I'm an advocate too. Like, you can use Hearth independently. You can use Hearth like in conjunction with other things. You can use switch it back and forth. It's totally fine.
Sure.
But I would much rather, instead of just giving a 10% discount, I'd probably sell more if I just bit like 10% off a few jobs, and those person spent 25% more buying a bigger, better product.
Yeah. Or upselling into some upgrade.
Yeah. I hate discounts.
Yeah. Well, the problem with discounts, in my experience, is they always come back and bite you when you're in a season of full margins.
Yeah.
Right. To say, wait a minute. Well, you did my neighbor's fence, and you gave them a 15% off discount. Do I qualify for that discount too, or I should get that discount and all that? Like, well, no, actually, that was when we were slow and we were just trying to get work or whatever the situation was. Well, now all of a sudden that person's like, oh, so you could do it for 15% less.
Yeah.
So this is profit. You're just keeping that money.
Why didn't you give it? It's the old vacuum salesman stuff. I remember, we're old enough to remember this kind of stuff, like the old slick salesman, like door-to-door guy. Oh, there's still door-to-door guys, but that would, hey, Joe, you're a firefighter? 5% discount for you if you finish today. Oh, on top of that, you're a veteran, another 5% for you. Oh, you're on the same T-ball team as Mike, another 5% for you. And it's like,
wait a minute, your house is an even number? You're not going to believe this.
You're not believe this.
We got an even house number day.
Instead of 2, you get another 2% discount. This is the way that people actually used to sell for a really long time, and some companies still do it.
Sure.
Where instead of like providing more value and like better product and like better service, they're just like, if I can make this sale right now, I don't care. Like, I'll cut my margins down and down and down. Like,
well, or the game of marking it up to discount it
to mark it down later.
Yeah. Like, it's that there was a period in time where that was a valid sales tactic.
Yep.
Walmart did that for how long? We're rolling down prices and all that. You haven't seen them roll down prices lately. That's the thing of the past. But that was a legitimate way that people did business. It was they would mark it up to discount it. Everybody wait for the camera.
Another camera.
Yeah. But you would mark it up to discount it. And customers weren't familiar with that, so they really felt like they were getting a value, getting a deal, all that. I think we're living in a day and age where everyone understands that at face value.
I think everyone, I can't cuss on here, I won't cuss.
Yeah.
But everyone can snuff out BS.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And consumers aren't that dumb.
No. And here's what I'm telling guys too is consumers want to buy, not be sold.
They
Right.
want to buy how, and salespeople should like sell the way they like to buy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Like-
Give a lot of information, a lot of value, answer all the questions, ask the right questions, present the right offer, rather than saying, this is on special today. If you sign right now, I can take 5% off, but if I leave, I'm not going to be able to offer that. Okay, really?
You're not.
See you later.
It's we've all seen like the 6 o'clock news with like the bad contractor out there, and they've given like a lot of contractors a bad name. And again, like I was a contractor for a long time, and I owned a business and worked for other businesses. Those things do happen. Like,
oh yeah,
a lot more than the news probably reports on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where like, and homeowners they're protecting themselves, and like we're homeowners, and like we have families, and we have our own finances too. Like I don't get hosed over by someone.
Right.
And everyone knows those things exist.
Yep.
And so like if you, like you said, I'm sure you guys do. I'm sure most companies that here do are like totally honest.
Yeah.
Like they take pride in their work, the quality of their work, quality of their service. They do what they do what they say they're going to do when they're going to do it.
Bingo.
And they grow their business that way, as opposed
absolutely.
to, I don't want to say fly by night, because I do like wholeheartedly respect like a single person in their own truck that runs their own business. Like, that's still a legitimate thing, but there's a big difference between that and like the snake oil salesman that's like, I'm gonna do this for 3 weeks because
there's a large difference between fly by night and owner operators.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's not who you're talking about. The guy that came into town purely looking to fleece the community and then leave.
Yeah,
I mean that's their objective.
Some of my favorite business owners in the world, and like, again, we're old enough, and a lot of people probably are old enough to like, we've lived through some things. Like we lived through the 07, 08.
Yeah.
We lived through COVID. We lived through whatever downturn we've had in the past 15, 20 years.
Ups and downs of the economy in general.
It hurts all the time.
Yeah.
But contractors and fencers come into the industry in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love the guys that I know guys that I was an accountant at a bank for 15 years, and bank went under in 2007, 2008, but they had a truck and they had a family to feed. There wasn't anybody, banks weren't hiring people back then.
Yeah.
They knew how to sling a hammer. Well, guess what? Now they're a drywaller.
Sure.
Because they passed out a few flyers at church, and they built their business that way. It took them a long time. It took a lot of hard work, but like that's a highly respected thing. You can tell the difference between that guy and the guy that shows up and he's like,
yeah, kind of slick Willie.
I only take cash up front.
Yeah,
I need it all up front right now.
Well,
I'll come back on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll give you a discount if you get paid in full right now.
Right now, yeah.
And this is in.
I don't have my tools with me. Yeah, I just
right. Well, the crew is right behind me.
Yeah,
but they'll definitely be here.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Customers are getting really good at sniffing that out, right? Because you hear about this stuff on the news, on the radio, wherever you get your information.
And they can look you up online.
Yeah.
All it takes is all you do is Google you, see your reviews.
Yeah,
that's it.
Business has never been more transparent than it is today. I mean, like you said, reviews. I mean, Google reviews. Good luck getting just false ones taken down.
Yeah, okay,
right? Much less ones you don't agree with.
Yeah.
It's something I think people are maybe familiar with is competitors' employee decides that they're going to trash your business and all this. You're like, wait a minute. I know that person. They work over here. They were never a customer, this and that. Google's like, well, we've reviewed your complaint, and we don't believe, we believe the review is, it stands or whatever, and they let it stay. Like, oh, great. Well, yeah, good luck getting down any review you just don't agree with. They're letting everything stay.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
It's a little off subject, but kind of related. When I was like 18, 19 years old, I had just moved. I was going to school, so I went to school at Troy University, way down south in southern Alabama, from Indiana originally. And like the local newspaper published something with my name in it. I was running for something like at a school, and there were in the comment section even back then. This is like 04. In the comment section, somebody had wrote on there like, Ben Barrick, he's always been blah blah blah. I've known him for 15 years. It was like, bro, I just moved here 6 months ago. Like,
yeah, good chance.
But you know what? I can't get it taken down.
Right.
Like that stuff just happens.
It's just there for forever and ever.
You just gotta watch that stuff.
That's the thing is business has never been more transparent than it is today, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Right. So customers are getting really good at sniffing out false discounts. right? And also bringing discounts up at very inopportune times.
Yeah.
So to bring it back around, it might be more advantageous to offer a limited time offer of some sort of financing offer that would be near that discount.
Yeah.
Right. And because it's a lot easier to say, oh, well, that financing offer is not active right now. It's easier to say that than, oh, no, we're not doing any discounts right now, because the customer understands the discounts just going back in your pocket. Where the financing offer, those just come and go.
Yeah.
That was a limited time financing offer, and it's just not available
right now.
Yeah.
And think of like every furniture store or like every car dealership in the world, they all have a limited time, 0% for 36 months.
Yep.
I'm never qualifying for it. It was like
Sure.
those commercials like Peyton Manning driving the car. Like, I know a lot of those offers are just for it, but they draw eyes and they draw attention to
Yeah.
it. And in our space, like a lot of people can't get qualified for those, but like those are limited time offers.
Yeah.
And like, it's not advantageous for a bank to always have those available.
Sure.
And lenders don't always have those kind of things available. Like, they do seasonal things. And as a business owner, you should do seasonal things. Like, I would much rather offer 0%, for 12, 18 months for the entire month of December.
Sure.
And book out my business for January and February versus 15% off.
Yeah.
If
For
you
the
buy
winter
this month.
discount or something.
Like,
yeah.
I'm just staying busy then. Like, again, Tony, my margins are hurting, man. They're bleeding. They're dripping.
Yeah. So also, one time you see people, I think this might be a good use case for this, is December, January, February, when Christmas, purchases are in full effect. The funds aren't necessarily there, but the need is there to say, hey, let's do a 12-month or there's one guy I followed does like a 6 or 8 month, basically says, let's get you to tax time.
Yeah.
If you know you're getting a tax refund, let's get you into some financing, get this for you now, and then when that tax check comes, you pay this off. How does that sound?
This is really popular in the insurance industry as well. And a lot of like roofing companies, I know there's some similarities because it's insurance work. Insurance checks, just like tax checks, like they come later than you want them to. Yeah. They're going to come, but you just don't know when they're going to come.
And they're going to take their time.
But I want the work done now, and as a business owner, I want to get the work done now.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait for it, and I don't want to flip the capital or the cash for it either.
Right.
And so a lot of people will say, hey, go ahead and get this financed now, just like you do with tax time, or the insurance check is coming to your store and comes through, knocks over your fence, home insurance, you won't pay it. It's going to take 90 days, though.
Yeah.
Dude, we can get this done now, and get this back up for you, and we get that check, you can pay the entire thing off. There's no prepayment penalties. It's easy to do. You're not waiting around. You don't have to worry about, the overgrowth on your fence. You don't have to worry about, getting more damage done.
Yeah.
Being a violation.
Right. Right.
Code enforcement's gonna roll by and be like, dude, you got 30 days after a storm to get this stuff cleaned up.
Yep.
Or we're gonna start putting little red stickers on your door. Like, you want to avoid that. Safety of your home, your kids, your dogs, your pets.
Exactly.
Like, it's an easy thing to do. Like, there's a lot of strategies around that.
Sure. But it all comes back to having those options available.
Yeah.
Having a lending partner such as Hearth in your corner to say, here's the options that are available to you, you the business owner that then can turn it around to your clients. Here's some best practices of how we've seen it in the industry. I mean, obviously, you run your business, present them how you'd like, but also willing to help you present them, or give you feedback on ways to present them. But make that option available.
Yep.
Right. It just makes sense to have. We've got all these tools. We've got all this equipment for when the job needs a Bobcat, for when the job needs whatever it needs, Dandy Digger. We've got it ready to send out.
Yep.
Right. I feel like financing is the same way. We've got it ready to use when we've got a job that calls for it.
Yep.
Sort of thing.
It is. I'll go back to convenience. This is how I used to go. What were we doing on time?
It's 50 after 12:50.
What time did we start? We went
12.
We went a while.
I told you.
I said after 15 minutes you'd be real bored with us.
Yeah, and here we are 50 minutes
later.
later.
We can wrap this up. I used to go around to like different conferences and different groups and give the same talk. I did it for like 18 months. I don't do it anymore, but I might bring it back sometime. I always talk about convenience factor again. And before that, or after that, I got one more thing that we'll be done.
Of course.
Convenience-wise, like, customers care about convenience more than anything else.
Yep.
Your product ain't that much different than the next guy.
Sure.
Your service might be better, but they're going to say the same thing. Like,
yeah.
No one's saying, we have the 4th best service in the Ozarks.
We're pretty okay.
You're the world's okayest fencer.
Yes.
Like, no one's
Yeah.
saying that. So service-wise, like, it's hard to tell pre-sale whether, so everything's pretty similar up to that point. But who can make it the easiest buying experience for a homeowner?
Yeah.
I think about, like, McDonald's and Burger King. Can I use the word?
Sure.
Are you going to get sued?
Nah,
Are you get kicked off the air at some point?
We'll see.
Nah, they're not watching. Maybe we'll get some new sponsors out of it.
Hey, there you go.
That'd be nice.
If you're watching.
Big Mac now.
That's
we
right.
can pitch it here.
Sponsored by the Golden Arches.
It's, you have to change the color of your shirt. But
Well, that might be a
BK
non-starter.
is orange, right?
They should be.
I think they're orange. They've got orange in their logo.
Yeah.
We got Popeyes.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway.
We'll get you something. We'll work on it. So, like, they're not like they're not the healthiest option.
Right.
They don't make you feel great.
Right.
They don't cost any less anymore, especially.
Sometimes more.
But it's still very popular because there's a drive-through that's super convenient.
Yep.
They stay busy that way. I don't like buying stuff on Amazon. It's not cheaper.
No.
I don't get to see it beforehand, but I don't have to get my car and drive someplace. It's super convenient. I can do it at 1 a.m. if I wanted to.
Well, and I'll add one to this. DoorDash.
Dude.
Wildly expensive.
I got DoorDash last night.
I'm a frequent DoorDasher, so I know this inside and out. It is more expensive, 20 to 30%, depending on some places. Yeah. Plus the driving fee, plus the tip, plus the... You're paying $30 for what you probably should have been paying $14 or $15 for.
Those stocks are doing pretty good.
Yeah, they're doing okay. But to your point, people buy convenience.
People buy convenience, and especially like post-COVID. Number one, like a homeowner doesn't want you in their house anymore. If you could sell me a fence and I'd never have to talk to you or see your face, talk to you on the phone even, that would be ideal for me.
Yeah.
And most homeowners feel that same way. Like, people don't even like calling you on the phone anymore. Like text and email you.
Yep, absolutely.
Or message me on the website. Like, homeowners, number one, they don't want to talk to you. They don't really want you in their house. You're not there to hang out with them anymore.
Yeah.
They want to not leave their couch. So if you say, oh, we don't offer financing, but, I know you bank at, the local credit union down the road. They'll go ahead there, pick it up. What do you think the homeowner's going to do? They're going to do that today?
Nah.
They're not doing it today because they got 10 other things to do.
Right. They had this period of time for this task.
And so, that day goes by, and the next day you're like, hey, did you go get the money yet? I know, Karen got sick, and Susie's got a headache too.
Well, we got a vacation
We got
planned.
vacation coming up.
Yeah.
After a couple visits, like, they've already hired someone else because someone else came by and said, listen, Joe, you don't have to leave your couch right now. Just sit back, turn on the TV. Here's your estimate. Here's the drawings for it. Here's what, I don't know if you guys have visualizers. Here's what it's going to look like afterwards. It's the best material. And when we're doing this, we're going to get, utility lines drawn. You don't have to be here for it. We'll get it all taken care of. I'll let you know when it's done. How does that sound? And as a homeowner, they go, yep, cool. Now get out.
Perfect. Yeah, right.
I got Netflix to watch now.
Right. Yep.
Like, I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
And so, like, people buy for convenience.
Sure.
One last thing.
Yeah.
And then we can go get lunch or something. Now that we're talking food, I'm getting
right. We're getting there.
Should we DoorDash something here real fast? And I should have probably led with this. I think the number one reason people don't offer financing, or they don't offer it all the time, number one, they don't feel confident in it.
Okay.
If they do offer it, like as a company, they don't feel confident in talking about financing.
Sure.
But the big overarching one I hear over and over every single day is, dude, it seems complicated. Like, it seems too hard. And this, like, boy, it's easy.
It's about as easy as it gets.
It's easy. Like, with Hearth, like with us at Hearth and like some other financing companies too, like, I will put our team up against anyone else in the industry, like the one-on-one connection you have with them.
Yep.
Like, they'll know your entire team, they'll know your dog's birthday and stuff. Like, they'll teach you how to do every single thing, like go to market with it actually. And like, their service is there to really help you implement this and make money doing it. Because like, we rely on you being successful too. So like, we have some stake in it.
Yeah, of course.
But it is not hard to do.
Yeah.
You do not have to be in business for 30 years to do it. With Hearth, like, if you are day one or fourth generation, like, you can qualify to start offering financing. Like, that wasn't a thing as of like 5-10 years ago. Before.
Right.
That's something like we kind of broke that barrier down a little bit. But like, if you're not doing it, you should at least look into it.
Yeah.
Give me a call.
Yeah. Well, no,
Doesn't
but
bother
that's what I was going to start wrapping up with. So if someone out there is interested, or they think their company should be interested, how would they reach out to Hearth? How would they reach out to you to get more information?
Yeah. So I mean, they can always go to our website,
Okay.
gethearth.com.
Okay.
You can always, a lot of people might be watching this on Facebook or,
Sure.
or LinkedIn or wherever we are. Search for me, Ben Barrick, Barrick. I almost forgot how to spell my name.
I was going to say.
I was like,
You looked at me. I was like, "What? It's your name."
I don't
buddy.
know, dude. Yeah, find me on Facebook. Find me on LinkedIn. You can give us a call too.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk to you. Whether you use Hearth now, whether you've never offered financing, whether you've thought about using financing, you're using a different kind of financing. Like, I'll talk to you.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
a lot of our team will too. Like, we'll try to get you signed up with Hearth, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm always happy to talk to you. Hey, we're not using Hearth. I know, like, there's a lot of people here that haven't used Hearth, but
Yeah.
I sit down and talk with them all the time. Like, dude, you
course.
should be doing, like, you're making money. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
try to switch you right now. Not great business sense from my end, but like, you'll come around at some point.
Yeah.
But here's some strategy on how to do it. Like, here's what to think about. Like, here's how to actually implement it into your business. Like, reach out to me.
Okay.
Reach out to our team here. Always happy to talk with them.
Yeah.
So,
And to plug some more events, you guys are at most all of the fencing events.
Yeah.
So we've got Fence Tech coming up.
Yep.
It's going to come up January, February. I've been doing this all day. First part of 2025, Salt Lake City.
it's booked. I'll be
Yeah,
there.
it's on the calendar. We're there for
Yeah.
sure. But so they could actually meet with you in person
Yep.
too. So if they had more questions, they could spend some time with you,
Yep.
learning more about Hearth, the process, and that sort of thing.
Yep, we try to do a whole lot with AFA as well. So luckily, I got Shane out there invited me to be on the
Yeah, that's
Indiana
right.
Kentucky board.
Congratulations.
So any Indiana Kentucky event, like, I'll be at, and I'll be sponsoring stuff there, and thank you for helping the Midwesterners specifically in that region really get up and running, really strengthen their business. But I'll travel around too. Like, I'll be in Ohio. I'll be at some Midwest stuff.
Okay.
Obviously, I'll come out west here a little bit. So
Yeah.
anything we can do to support, like, the AFA and other organizations here as well in the fence industry. Like, I travel a lot. 103 days out of the year, I'm on the road.
Oh, good grief.
And a lot of those are fencing. So you'll see me around here.
Nice. Very good. So gethearth.com.
Yep.
Find you on social media, or find you at one of these fencing events. Pretty easy to get a hold of you.
Pretty easy.
Good. Very
Pretty
good.
easy. Joe, thanks so much,
Ben,
man.
thank you
Really
so much for
appreciate it, man.
making time for us.
Yeah,
I
of
really
course,
do
man.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Guys, appreciate you tuning in at home. Stay tuned for more lives coming live from the West Coast Fence Show 2024 here at the Peppermill Resort in Reno, Nevada. Until next time, I'm Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors, and I'll catch you next time.